complete. Puja shopping? What? Ashmita, how many dresses you have bought? And Rajlakshmi, how many dresses you have bought this year? Six. Very good. And Rajlakshmi, three. Very good. I am zero. I am at zero. I have not bought anything because I don't want to go to the shops right now. You know, because it's very dangerous. I hope all of you have taken proper measures while going to the shops. Jonangshu, how many you have bought? Acha, online. That's nice. And that's a smart move too. So I should say that Roshmita, this year Pujo hopping should be also online. Don't go outside in this festive season. Please encourage people to stay at home. Understood? Okay. So fine, let us start. So we were discussing the constitution and the framing of constitution. So in that, today we will discuss about the vision of the constitution. The vision of the constitution, that today we will discuss. Okay. So, Alka, Bharat, Jubanangshu, Neetu, fine. So, before we start about the vision of the constitution, I have discussed yesterday about the prominent members or the dominant voices. That means who were the people who actually gave their ideas to shape the constitution in a proper way. Among them, one of the very important person was definitely Mr. Jawaharlal Nehru. And Jawaharlal Nehru thus gave a very important aspect of Indian constitution. And that aspect is known as objectives resolution. It was that he had this idea that objectives, what is this objectives? Objectives means that what are the points on which will be the guiding light for India to write the constitution. Why we are writing the constitution? For what purpose? For what purpose we are writing the constitution? These are, if you ask these questions, so the answer would be the objectives. The objective resolution is such a paragraph or such a part of the constitution which tells in a crux, which tells in a nutshell what Indian constitution is about. The Indian constitution is written for whom, and Indian constitution give importance to which sectors. You will be understanding that from the objective resolution. If you don't have that, then your vision will be blurred. Like when we start every year's class, every year's session with each and every class, like class 12, 11, 10, 9, so on, we get a simple word syllabus from the board, which tells us that this is your book, these are the chapters you have, this is how you have to deal it. for this chapter you have this period, for this chapter you have this amount of period. You can ask these type of questions, you can do these type of activities from this particular chapter. And not only that, they also provide us the objectives, that after studying the chapter called Framing the Constitution, what you are going to learn and what we are going to teach you. As you know that not every point is described in the book. That's why I sometimes give you some information from outside, right? So that is mentioned in the objectives, that these objectives has to be followed. So without that guideline, without that structure offered to us by the board, we cannot teach you. Or if the board doesn't provide you, we have to make it. We the teachers, we have to make it, we have to make a plan. Then we can do the rest, right? Like without planning what happens, like what happens when a substitute teacher comes to your class, provision teacher. When I am absent, some other teacher comes and he founds that he is from the subject maybe Bengali or English or mathematics. He is coming to a class of history and he doesn't know how to deal the class. When I am going to a provisional class of class 10 and it's a maths class, I don't know how to do it, because it's not my subject, because I have no plan for it, I have not got the objectives, I have no idea about the syllabus. That's why. So that is why Nehru, he pressurized that the vision of the constitution should be there. Vision means everyone who is a member of the Constituent Assembly should see within their open eyes that what the Indian Constitution will look like. And in the Indian Constitution's objectives resolution, this was mentioned that India is going to be an independent sovereign republic. So you are going to see India as an independent, sovereign and a republic which guaranteed its citizens justice, equality and freedom, and assured that adequate safeguards shall be provided for the minorities, backwards, tribal areas and other backward, depressed and other backward classes. That means India is going to be an independent state, India is going to be a sovereign state, India is going to be a republican state. And the Indian government is going to guarantee its citizens what? Justice, equality, freedom, these things. And within this also the government is assuring more adequate safeguards, protection, safeguards to the tribals, minorities, backwards, depressed and other backward classes. So this should be the vision of a constitution. Now to fulfill all these, to complete all these, to provide justice to all, to provide equality to all, to provide freedom to all, to secure special safeguards to these people. What are the provisions? What are the rules will be there? That should be discussed. If someone breaks that rule, what will be the punishment? That should be discussed. India is an independent state. If that is in stake, then what will be the measures which will be taken? That will be discussed. India's sovereignty, if that is in stake, if that is in a danger, then which steps should be taken? That should be discussed. That means that this is the, what we can say, the structure structure of the constitution, with which we can understand that Indian constitution is going to talk about all these points. Understood? So this was his idea, Nehru's idea, and it was a fabulous, fantastic idea. That's why you know better than me that in Pol Science you have studied the preamble of Indian Constitution, where each and every feature of Indian Constitution was mentioned. So if you read the objectives resolution and the preamble of the Constitution in a short, you can understand what is there in the Constitution itself. So you don't have to go deeper to understand. Yes, if you are going to be a lawyer, if you are going to be a judge, if you want to study it in a thorough manner, then definitely you have to study the Constitution. But if as a general person, as a general public, if you want to just understand what is there in Indian Constitution, you just read the objectives resolution and the preamble. That's all. You can understand what's there. Okay? Now, Nehru was locating the history of constitution making in India within a longer history of struggle for liberty and freedom. The momentous nature of the Indian project was emphasized by linking it to the revolutionary moments of the past. As you see that Nehru has mentioned the three words like liberty, equality and freedom. So you can understand that he is mentioning it towards the French Revolution. That's why we get the three words liberty, equality and fraternity. Right? In our pledge also, in our preamble also we have that, which is taken from the French Revolution itself. And as Nehru was mentioning that as India is making or India is writing its constitution after a lot of struggle, India is writing her own constitution, then she should refer back to the constitutions of the world which has been written after a lot of revolution. So that's why he mentioned about these policies. He did not define the specific form of democracy and suggested that this has to be decided through deliberation. And he stressed that the ideas and provisions of the constitution introduced in India could not be just derived from elsewhere. We are not going to just copy, he said. The system of government established in India had to fit in with the temper of our people and be acceptable to them. So what he said, that we are not going to just copy and paste. We have to study that. We have to make that particular idea fitting into our country with the temperament of our people. Like how the British government or the British Parliament have their constitution, in the same way if we introduce Indian constitution, we are not going to be having a good constitution. We have to keep this in mind always, that we are writing the constitution for India, for Indian people and for the diverse background of India, right? So that is very important, which was pointed out by Nehruji. And in this way, how the discussions went on, a communist member whose name was Somnath Lahiri, he thought that a British imperialism and its ideas are hanging over the Constituent Assembly. He thought that what Nehruji and other members of Congress, they are talking about, it's a kind of following the British imperialistic path. So in that way, he thus urged the members and Indians in general to fully free themselves from the influence of imperial rule. So he said that an interim administration headed by Nehru was in place, but it could not only operate under the direction. So what he said that yes, so Somnath Lahiri, he says that the governments do not come into being the state in papers. Governments are in fact the expression of the will of the people. We have to meet here today because of the strength of the people behind us, and we shall go far as the people, not of any party or group, but the people as a whole. That is important. Which means that he says that whether we are under the British rule or not, whether we have secured our independence or not, because the completion of constitution was not finished. The constitution was not completed in 1947 August. It completed in 1948 November, right? Not in 48, it's 49 November. So it also took 2 years. So that's what Somnath Lahiri said, that the new Indian government were also dependent on the British policies, British thought process, British ideas. But we as Indians, we should not do that. We as Indians should always think that we are different. We are here in the Constituent Assembly as the people of India are behind us. As the people of India, they are supporting us and they have a faith on us. So whatever we do here, we will not be a representative of any imperial rule, any political party, any religious community, not anything else but a single individual and a man or a woman of India. Like I always say that when the Team India goes to play in the field, when Virat Kohli scores 100 or scores a chakka, we never say that Virat Kohli is a Delhi boy, so only the Delhi people should celebrate and we should not. And as there is no Bengali cricketer right now there, so we should not watch the Indian cricket. We don't do that. When Indian cricket team goes on the field, we all start cheering. We all choose some of our heroes, some favor Virat Kohli, some for Dhoni, some for others. So that is the point, that here in the Constituent Assembly, we should not have the petty issues with us. We always have to shed all the colors, all the religion, all the party, all the politics behind the door of the Constituent Assembly and come as an individual, come as a member of India and think in a broader way what an Indian should want, what an India should think in future. That's how a constitution should be written. So it was the view of Somnath Lahiri. He also said, we should therefore always keep in mind the passions that lie in the heart of the masses of Indian people and try to fulfill them. But when we have got our independence, don't forget the passion of the Indians, those who have died for our country, those who are watching us very carefully and they are building their hopes that a new nation is going to come, a new constitution is going to come, and they are going to give me a lot of freedom. So we have to think for them and we have to do accordingly. We cannot have our petty issues in this Constituent Assembly. The Constituent Assembly was expected to express the aspirations of those who had participated in the movement for independence. Democracy, equality and justice were ideas that had become initially associated with social struggle in India. So that is very important, that we should not forget those people who had given their lives in the freedom movement. They have given their everything in the movement because India could become free. Think about Bhagat Singh, think about Subhash Chandra Bose, think about Mahaswada Surya Sen. They have given their lives. Think about those young kids of Surya Sen's team. Think about the boy who died at the age of 11 while fighting for his motherland to make it free. How can we forget them? And if we forget them, then we don't deserve to be in the Constituent Assembly. If we forget the sacrifice of those thousands and lakhs of people who have given their sacrifice, who have given their life in this movement, then we are not able to sit here to write the Constitution of India. This was the view of Somnath Lahiri, and these two are the formation, these two are visions of Nehru's objective resolution and Somnath Lahiri's becoming very objective with the points. These two visions are very important for creating, for drafting the Constitution of India. Okay? So, any questions, any doubts? So, next day we will start with defining rights. Okay? So, till then, goodbye.